Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you some of the vintage Disney items that I have around my home. Okay, so I don't have a ton of vintage Disney, but I just kind of walked around and picked up the few things that I do have. Hopefully I found it all. I know there's probably some things in the attic that are in boxes, either my boxes or my grandmother's boxes, but I'm not going to dig through my boxes in the attic. But this is all stuff that's like around the house right now. So we will start with this cup. So this is not, to my knowledge, a McDonald's cup. I know there are a lot of vintage McDonald's glasses that have Disney things on them. This was in my grandmother's box in the attic. My grandmother is still living, but she is in a very small apartment just down the road that is for seniors. And so there's a lot of boxes of hers in our attic, and we go through them every now and then and just kind of like pare them down and ask her about certain things if she wants to keep them or not. But anytime I run across Disney items, I'm always like, Grandma, can I use this? And she's like, yeah. So this is one of those items. I just think it's super, oh, sorry, I just knocked the camera. I just think this little Mickey is super cute in his little dapper outfit. And I like the shape of the glass. It's a little different than just a standard tumbler. So yeah, it's one of my favorites. And this just sits in my dining room kind of as a display item. Okay, the next item was given to me. This is just a Mickey figurine. It doesn't have any information about where it's from. It almost looks hand painted, but I'm not sure because you can see a little around his tail. There's a little bleeding from the ink or the paint. So I'm not sure if it was a hand painted item or just purchased in a little trinket shop, but I'm a wedding photographer in a venue. They were cleaning out their house or something and found it, and they knew that I love Disney. So they gave me this the next time I was there. So that was super sweet. If you're from around here, it was Peaceful Oaks. So giving them a shout out. So I actually have this on a small shelf in my daughter's nursery. I have like 3 little shelves with just display items, and this is on there. I don't have a lot of Disney in her room, but this is another Disney item that is in her room. It's in her little book basket. Walt Disney's Donald Duck and Chip and Dale. Just a little old book, and you can see that is quite worn, but still readable. So we read this every now and then. She is getting to the point where she likes to turn the pages herself, or well, she's been doing that for a while. So we have been mostly sticking to board books lately just because I don't want her to rip all of her books. But this one's super cute. It's about Donald conning Chip and Dale into painting his house because his like neighborhood association is like, you need to paint your house. It's real weird. But anyway, it's really cute. And let's see if we can find the date that this was made. It says, it's in Roman numerals. So 2050, no, that would not be 2000. I'm guessing that's 1954. It's MCMLIV. I can just Google it later, but I'm gonna guess that it's 1954. Obviously not 2054 because this would be from the future. So that's super cute, and it is in my daughter's book basket. Like I said, I want to say this was from our boxes in the attic. So probably my grandmother's boxes. It might have been hers, or might have been just, well, I guess it would have had to have been hers. She wouldn't have had a Disney book in 1954. Maybe they bought it for my mom. My mom was born in 62, so could have been for her. I'm not really sure. It doesn't have anybody's name in it. So, okay, the next one is really fun. This is an autograph book from Disneyland. I may have mentioned this on here before, but I grew up going to Disneyland every few years. I probably went like 4 or 5 times when I was a child. First time being when I was 11 months, so obviously I don't remember that one. But I think this autograph book was when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 maybe. You can see that's not my address anymore, so I don't mind to show it. But yeah, I wrote my little name and drew a little doodle. So we've got our Goofy and Daisy, Donald. Donald's signature is crappy. I don't even know who some of these are. Brer Bear. Some of them later on I would like write who it was at the bottom. I think this is Baloo. No idea who that is. Also, I hope it's focusing on this. Mickey, Timon. Man, you could meet a lot of characters back then. Woody, Eeyore. Okay, so if Woody is in here, then it had to have been in the 90s. So in 95, I would have been 9. I was probably 12, if I'm remembering right. This was the time that I wore my cousin's Tweety Bird bucket hat to the park, which was like not a Disney character. Minnie, and that might be it. I guess that's it. I guess this was not the one where I wrote the names in it. Oh, and I just found this picture in there from the Hollywood sign. So, yes, I have lots of fond memories of going to Disneyland as a child. This trip specifically, I remember really well. My granddad was with us, and he was in a wheelchair, and so the grandkids took turns pushing him. Mostly my younger cousin Courtney pushed him because she was the littlest, and we could like make her do things for us. But it was just a lot of fun. Really good trip. Definitely encourage you guys to take multi-generation trips. I definitely plan on doing that when Liliana's a little older, going with her grandparents and both sides, just to make those memories, because you know, grandparents aren't around forever. In fact, Rhett's granddad just passed away last week, so yeah, it's just it's good to make memories and cherish those as your kids get older, because as a child I made lots of good memories with my grandparents, and I'm really thankful for that. So anyway, moving on, this item is an old block set that Rhett actually found for me on eBay. So it's like a puzzle kind of deal. I don't know if you can see this really well. This might work better if I just put it on a table and showed you, but I'm too lazy. So each block has a different piece of the puzzle, of different puzzles on it. So you basically just have to like go by the picture and find which block to turn. It's pretty easy once you have a picture down, because you can just like turn all the blocks the same direction once to get the right picture. So let me get these out and I'll show you guys the different pictures. Okay, so the front is the 3 little pigs here with the wolf looking over the tree. This is the one that's kind of affixed to the inside top. So we've got Pinocchio and Goofy and Figaro and Dale. Not really sure why Dale and Goofy are hanging out with Pinocchio, but whatever. And then the other little slips of paper that go in there, we've got Donald, Clarabelle, Mickey, and Minnie. For some reason, they've tied Donald to a tree. He probably deserves it. We've got Mickey doing a video of Bambi and a lion. Not really sure what he's from. That looks like Thumper, but Thumper is gray, I think. So I'm not sure. And then we've got Dumbo. I've left this one in there quite a bit because I really like this one. Dumbo spraying Donald, and then the Huey, Dewey, and Louie hanging out there, watching and laughing. And then, man, Donald makes an appearance in most of these, which of course I enjoy. So we've got Mickey, who has apparently hurt his head. This one's weird. This one is, I don't know what the story behind this one is, but Pluto and what looks like one of the Lady and the Tramp puppies hanging out up there. So yeah, some of these are a little strange. I don't know if they're from a movie or what. Okay, I'm saving my newest vintage stuff for last, but this is a book set that came from our attic boxes. So Walt Disney Parade, Fun Fact Fantasy Fiction, and it is a 4-book set. You can see here we've got Fantasy on Parade, Adventures in Fact, Great Moments in Fiction, and then Fun Favorites. And I have honestly not read these books. They're mainly for decoration, but they're really cute. I've used them in the backgrounds of photos before. The Fantasy on Parade one has lots of different characters on the front. And some of these characters, I believe, are probably from like shorts and things. I mean, like Zorro, TikTok, the Dalmatians, Peter Pan. No idea who this is. This might, I don't think that's Pete's Dragon. Maybe it is. And then whatever this lamb thing is. So there's lots of pictures and illustrations. And then like stories, Mickey and the Beanstalk. So these are really cool. I will probably read these at some point, or I should read these at some point. Because, you know, I don't know. It's just fun to read little stories. But let's see if we have a date on these. Okay, copyright 1970, but it has stories and pictures that were previously copyrighted 1969, 59, 58, 54, 53, 44, and 41. So it's like a compilation of a lot of different stories put into this book that came out the year that I just said that I can't remember. 1970. So these probably were my mother's. She would have been 8, kind of prime age for like storybooks. But she's like me. She has terrible memory, so she doesn't remember these. The Adventures in Fact are, oh, they were my Uncle Richie's. So this one has his name in it. He might want them back. I don't know, but he doesn't watch my YouTube channel, so he's not getting them back. This one is more like science and history stuff, like learning things, not so much stories. It has like pictures from the parks and the history kind of things. So I really like this one. This is one of the ones I should definitely read. Great Moments in Fiction, I imagine is probably the same deal. Oh wait, no, these are stories, like familiar stories that have been written. Oh, duh, fiction is not true stuff. I get those mixed up all the time, even though like I know the difference. I always have to sit there and think, okay, which one's fiction, which one's nonfiction? I'm dumb. Anyway, so The Ugly Dachshund, that's interesting. How can a Dachshund be ugly? Dumb. Oh, probably because it's not a Dachshund. Kidnapped. So lots of stories in here. These look a little more grown up than the fantasy one. And then Fun Favorites is probably going to be stories that are familiar. Yes, like Jungle Book. Okay, so now this one has both my mother and my uncle's name in it. So I guess maybe they shared them. I just love stuff like this that belonged to family members, but then also reflects my current interests. Okay, so these last couple things I'm going to show you in here are actually recent acquisitions. My friend Ryan, he lives in Nashville, and I went to visit with him and some other friends there a couple weeks ago, and he had some of his grandmother's stuff that he was going through to like get rid of things and then pick out some stuff to keep, and he came across some Disney things that he thought I might like, so of course I liked them and I kept them. This is a patch, just Disney Treasures, and it's Mickey. So it says Athletic Club. And I probably won't use it. I'll probably just keep it. And it says made exclusively for the Walt Disney Theme Parks and Resorts. And it was only $3.50. I imagine that's probably not far off from what it would be now. I mean, maybe like $6 it would be. But I don't know a year on this. It doesn't say. But so I thought that was super cute. This next thing I'm super excited about. Disney dollars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these, but they haven't been in use for a few years now. I'm not sure exactly when they ended this program, but it's definitely not, they're not being made anymore. These, I believe, were both made in, okay, so it's series 1989. And does it say? Okay, so it looks like they started this program in 1987 because it says it has the copyright 1987, the Walt Disney Company. So I'm kind of curious to learn a little more about Disney dollars, so I'm probably going to do some research and find out what I can about that. But I think these are so cute. I'll probably leave them in their little envelopes and maybe display them somewhere. I don't know. I've got some wall space left in my office, so I can put them up in here. So next I have a few things that are on the walls that I'm going to show you that I didn't really want to get off the walls. So the lighting won't be quite as good for these next shots, but hopefully you'll still enjoy seeing these things. Okay, so this first item is in my daughter's nursery. These are just some vintage postcards from Disneyland. You got the submarine voyage, the Matterhorn / monorail, and then the Mark Twain. These I found in the attic, so I wanted to use them in her room, and they're just in like a clear gold frame. They're a little off kilter. I need to adjust them again. They tend to slide even though I've got them taped in there. But anyway, so these pieces are not technically vintage. They're actually just prints that I got out of a book, or someone got out of a book. I bought these on Etsy, but we've got a Spaceship Earth kind of attraction poster. And then here we have the Sword in the Stone movie poster and a Tower of Terror attraction poster, which you would think I should have attractions since two of those are attractions, but I replaced my Jungle Cruise poster with this Sword in the Stone one because honestly don't really like the Jungle Cruise that much, and my husband loves Sword in the Stone, so it's more appropriate. Moving on to my kitchen, I have this Casey's hot dogs little restaurant poster, I guess, which we love. Casey's Corner. Is it Casey's Corner? I guess it is. I just always call it Casey's. We love Casey's, so I love that. And then the Silly Symphony little short poster, and then I have 2 pins that go with that. Obviously they're not vintage either, but yeah. And last but not least, we have this Fantasia poster art that I love, and it kind of completes my whole wall over here because it's got lots of like blues, and I don't know, I just think it looks great with everything else in my living room. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for coming along on my vintage Disney tour. If you guys have some cool vintage Disney stuff, let me know. I'd love to hear about what you have, or if you have a video where you showed yours, link it in the comments. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today, and we're on the final countdown for my Princess Half Marathon trip. It's in less than 2 weeks. I'm so excited. So I'll have more about that in the next video. Okay, see you guys.